What's up, everybody? John from old cold Reading Farm here on, this is April 8th. Typical New England spring. It's 28 degrees this morning. It was 70 degrees last week. Ridiculous. Unacceptable. And like the unmitigated gall of the universe to throw this weather at us. Anyway, today's a big day. Hopefully. We hired a local excavating company to do some work for us. So if you remember, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, this was all nonsense, like brambles and rocks. And we had a guy come out and he smoothed it out. He did a rough grade on it and he built that magnificent wall back there. Did a good job. We were really expecting more sort of like this, just a pile of rocks, but over on that side, did a very nice job. Very pleased with that. Kenny Benny, what's up, buddy? So today, again, hopefully, I hope they show up. They should, hopefully. We are gonna have somebody come out to do the same thing over here. Kenny's coming to say hi. Hey, Benny. What's up, buddy? All right, so now that I got Kenny here, very important meeting. Kenny, stay up here. Or not. Anyway, so they're gonna do basically the same thing over here. And we hired them for 2 days because it was basically like, I mean, it was $500 just to get the two machines out here. And so it was like, might as well, you know, spread the cost out, amortize it over a couple days. So they're gonna basically go from the edge of where that grass is as far that way as they can. So what we have here, again, are a ton of brambles. There's a few stumps scattered over there, and then a ton of these rocks. And like that rock, I think is too heavy for my tractor to pick up. And then we have this wall over here that I built that I'm actually pretty proud of. And I've had people say that for some just local yokel yahoo who's never built a stone wall a day in his life, people were pretty impressed at how this came out. And I think it looks pretty good too. But basically all of this business over here is gonna go away. And they're just gonna go and try to sort of flatten it as much as possible. You know, we don't need it to be level, so we're not gonna do like cuts into it. We just need it to be flat, because eventually this is all gonna become pasture for our alpacas. Fingers crossed. Someday, 2035, here we come. But anyway, so yeah. And like, you know, we were talking about it originally, and like, I could rent a brush cutter and cut down this brush, but then we have all these huge rocks, and it's like I could rent an excavator. It's like I could do all this stuff, but 2 days and hiring a professional to do it who has the right equipment, you know, that's going to be the move, because it's going to be much quicker and much easier. But anyway, this is a good opportunity to recruit you guys to help convince Catherine to get me an excavator, which is really just a joke, because eventually we're going to have a koi pond. And the deal with the koi pond is we can have a koi pond, but I just need an excavator so I can do it. So someday we'll have an excavator. But just for funsies, why don't you guys leave an excavator emoji in the comments down below. That'd be kind of funny, because I think I'll probably edit this video, because I think Catherine's very busy. But anyway, we're also going to be having an in-person dahlia tuber sale on Sunday, and we'll see how that goes. Initially, there was a lot more interest in it, but it seems like that may have waned a bit, and it's like April vacation for kids, so I think people are busy. So we'll see how that goes Worst case scenario, we may be putting dahlia tubers back on our website, so keep an eye on that. But also, if you are in the Connecticut area and you want to get some dahlia tubers, I think Kat says she's going to be selling them for like $3 to $5 each, so it's going to be cheap because we are going through our dahlias now, taking them out of storage and getting them ready, and man, storage went pretty well. There were some casualties for sure, but I think overall we're very happy with how they came out. But so anyway, check us out on our Instagram if you have any questions about that. And yeah, so I'll check in throughout the day and we'll see how they do. So they certainly brought the big excavator. And so basically what they're gonna do, so they're piling up a whole bunch of dirt because they're worried about the grade, because it's gonna be much higher over here. So they're gonna be taking out some of the rocks and using that to fill in some of the grade, and then backfilling with that dirt. So, looking pretty good so far. All right, so today was interesting. So first of all, we were supposed to have a skid steer and an excavator here today, but I guess the skid steer went down, which happens. So it was just the excavator, and then the excavator blew a hydraulic line 3 hours into the job, so he had to switch out. But so this is actually looking better than I thought it originally was. Although, to me, he is doing like almost too good of a job. Like this is very, honestly, this is very level, but like we just need him to scrape the rocks off. And I mean, he's taken, you know, sort of feet out of this. I mean, look at how deep down this is. And I saw originally it made sense because he was, you know, digging a big hole to bury the rocks. And so the whole idea was you dig a big hole to bury the rocks, then you have a ton of soil that you can use to then regrade up there. But now there's like some cuts here. It's a little deep, but so I guess he found a lot of rocks. Anyway, we're hoping that he's gonna be able to go all the way down there. I guess we'll have to see if that is in fact going to be the case or not. He said he found a lot of rocks. But I think the other thing is, we'll talk to him tomorrow and just say he doesn't need to do like this good of a job. So he just did this with only the excavator, which I actually think is pretty good, but we need speed over niceness at this point. So we'll have to see how it goes, because he was here, he fixed this hydraulic line and it was here for a couple hours later in the day. So we'll just have to see how he does. And we have a time lapse, hopefully, of what it looked like and some updates. So hopefully it looks good. Anyway, you know, we're not paying nothing for this. So anyway, we'll see how tomorrow goes, and then we'll go from there. All right, so figured their stuff out with the excavator. Remember, leave an excavator emoji in the comments down below. Or you can also say something like, man, Catherine, wouldn't it be so helpful if John had an excavator? Wouldn't that be great? That would all be very funny. So this is where we're at so far. I think the fact that he has done this solely with this excavator is actually pretty impressive. You should have seen the rocks that my man was pulling out of here. Crazy. Even you can sort of see it with some of these right here. These are like a third of the size of 2 of the boulders that he actually pulled out of here. But so now, you know, it does sort of stink that, obviously I think it would have been better if there were 2 machines here, but this is actually pretty good. And so I think when he comes in tomorrow, talk to him about this wall, try to, you know, build that wall, sort of build this wall here, maybe up to that cluster of maple trees right there. So I know it's probably hard to see, but so this comes around here and then it sort of dips this way. So I think if he just sort of finishes this section, because basically everything under like an inch of soil here is just rocks. And so every move that he makes, he needs to get rocks in. And so I'm actually sort of thinking that might actually be perfect. So if he takes sort of this pile of rocks here and finishes that stone wall right about there, that should be good. And then basically we'll run, you know, it's curvy, which is not ideal, but we'll run as straight a fence as we can from way over there to over here, and then we can have the fence line sort of just follow this and then maybe sort of cap over that way. Because basically our goal for him was to get as close to like our neighbor's property as we can, just sort of get, you know, as much done as he possibly can. But as you can see, I mean, welcome to Connecticut, right? Just freaking rocks everywhere. So not sure if he's going to be able to show up tomorrow because the weather's supposed to be bad, but overall I'm very happy with how this has come out. Obviously the situation has not been ideal, but he's essentially at this point just doubled our space that we had that was right over there, which is good. And then there's a couple trees, like a couple of these like choke cherries and like just whatever that I want to take down just before I put up fencing here. But then we'll be able to put up fencing soon. So I think our stretch goal was to have this fencing in by May. That's not going to happen because we have other things to do, like raised garden beds and in-ground garden beds and all kinds of garden beds. But anyway, this is looking pretty good. I don't think we're definitely not going to have this done by like May 1st, but I'll see what I can do, you know, once we hit the show circuit again in May. And then I think it basically stops in June. So maybe like mid-summer we can have these ready. And so my goal is we're going to do the same sort of thing that we did last time, where I will set the posts. So I'll dig the hole, I'll set the post in concrete, and then we'll pay somebody to come out and we'll pay Nicholas, the same guy who did it last time, to hang all the fence rails, because that is a pain in the neck and really hard to do. And he did a great job last time. So that's the plan. Hopefully it all works out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Remember, excavator emoji in the comments.